Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Today I'm going to be reading a book to you called The Puppet Smile by Lena Liu, illustrated by Rong Lee. Nice little book, right?
Yes.
All right. So our focus for today is going to be the plot. What is the plot? Let's read it.
The plot of a story is made up of the problem, important events, and the solution.
Remember, we said the problem in the story is also called the conflict. What's going wrong in the story? We're going to dig deeper today and answer some of these questions. Important events. What is that? That is what is happening at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. That is important to us. Not the tiny details, but the big overall details. And the solution. What steps is the character taking to solve his or her problems in the story? Okay? All right. When we look at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story, it's kind of like going up on a roller coaster and coming back down. So a story is never just like a straight line. There are bumps and things happening within the story, all right? So at the beginning, we learn about the characters and the setting in the story. We may begin to notice a problem in the story, something that's going wrong. In the middle of the story, we notice steps the character is taking to solve the problem and how the character is interacting with other characters in the story. What are they saying to the other characters? What are they doing to the other characters? So we're going to look out for that as well, okay? And at the end of the story, the problem is usually being solved. The characters are reflecting and they're thinking about their actions throughout the entire story. Maybe at this time they've learned a lesson. Remember that moral, the lesson that characters learn? And then we reflect in our own lives and we think about how that lesson could possibly help us in our journey in life, okay? Puppet Smile. Just by looking at the cover of this book, who can tell me what genre it is? Thinking of the title and the cover, what genre? Yes?
Fiction.
It's fiction, and who can tell me how they know this?
It has characters, and it's telling a story, and it's a make-believe.
Very good. So it's fiction because chances are there's characters. He's a character. It's a made-up story. And is this illustration a picture taken with a camera? No, it's not. So right away I can tell you it's probably not going to be nonfiction. I'm probably not going to get any facts from this story. Okay? One day, an old carpenter made a puppet. Puppet had a nose, 2 eyes, and could walk and talk. What is the author doing right here on this page? Yes?
He's describing the character.
He is describing the puppet. He is saying the puppet has a nose, 2 eyes, and he can walk and talk. He's using descriptive language, okay? Happy with his work, but felt something was missing. He looked Puppet up and down. What could it be? The old man wasn't sure. A red fox approached Puppet. "Nice to meet you," he said with a sly grin. Sly meaning what? Tricky. "What a great red backpack you have. Can I try it on? It looks like it will match my red hair beautifully." "Sure," said Puppet. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but if we make a connection to another story, I believe it was the crow and the fox. Remember when the fox was offering the crow all of these like flattery and compliments to get him to get the cheese? This is kind of similar in this story, right? He's saying, "Oh, this looks so nice." And it also says that this fox is sly. It says that he's sly, and we know in our minds that sly is tricky. So at this time, the puppet is very naive. He doesn't truly understand what's happening here, all right? Because he's new to this world, so he hasn't experienced these things before. So now he's run into a person who is untrustworthy because he took it and he ran. Okay? Now that we know that the puppet is not truly able to express himself because all the carpenter did was give him a smile. If he's unable to be sad, how do you think he feels inside?
Sad.
Maybe frustrated? Because he's only able to smile on the outside, but in the inside, is he smiling?
No.
Is he happy?
No.
So he's probably frustrated between emotions, okay? So for our problem, we're going to put puppet is only able to smile though he feels differently. Although Puppet was sad about the officer's mistake, he smiled. What else could he do?
Nothing.
There was nothing else that he could do because his maker at this time only made him to be able to smile. Okay? That's what's carved into his face. Look at this illustration. What is it trying to show you?
That the puppet is smiling.
That the puppet is smiling, but he feels sad inside. Good. Headache grew and grew. You see how the word grew is getting bigger, and then when you see puppet, he looks really big in the story. But just when his head started to become too much, a witch appeared. Her magical blue nose could sense sadness. What does she sense?
Sadness.
It was her mission to remove sadness from the world. It was her mission. It was her goal. So even though no one else in the story could see Puppet was sad on the inside, she could tell. The witch tapped Puppet on the head several times. Like this. Doom, doom, doom. Okay? I have a gift for you, she said. Smiling is great, but feeling other emotions is important too. Is she correct?
Yes.
Yes. So she's a good witch, not a bad witch. And she's telling him that you can not only have a feeling of happiness, but sadness and other emotions are important just as much. Puppet could feel happiness and sadness, surprise, and fear. What's fear?
Like afraid.
Like afraid, you're scared of something. He could cry, laugh, worry, and get angry. Do you see these facial expressions changing in the illustration?
Yes.
So these are the steps that he's taking to solve his problem. And who helped him get there?
The witch.
The witch. Very good. So what happened in the end of the story? Yes.
The puppet was now able to show his expressions of how he feels.
The puppet was now able to show other emotions than happiness. Yes.
And people could understand, because when he's smiling only, then people think he's lying. So when he's angry and he's sad, then people could understand that he's not happy.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better, my do. When I count down from 5, is to turn and talk to your neighbor and discuss the plot that we mentioned today. Ready? Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
The person made a puppet, right? The puppet was able to show his emotions because the witch came.
All right, we are going to turn back on a countdown. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. I came around. I got down low. I heard some amazing conversations about the plot. You guys did a wonderful job. Okay, good work. I heard a lot of you guys discuss the plot. Who can tell me 3 major events or important events in the story from the beginning to the end? Yes, loud and clear.
In the beginning, the carpenter made a puppet, but then he see that there was a problem and that the puppet didn't have a face.
So what did he do?
A smile, so he carved out a face.
Very good. Give me another event that's important in the middle of the story. Yes.
In the middle of the story, the puppet was only able to smile, but in the inside he was actually sad.
Very good. So he was feeling different emotions in the inside. What was the solution in the end? What important event in the end? Yes.
A witch appeared, and her mission was to help people get happy when they're sad. And she gave Puppet a gift so that he could move his face, his mouth, so people can see when he's crying, he's laughing, and when he's angry.
So what is the central message of this story? What lesson did you learn? Yes.
There is other emotions than happiness.
Yes, very good. There are other emotions than just happiness. You can be afraid, you're fearful of something, you're crying because you're sad or you're glum. Very good. What point of view was this story told in? Yes.
Third person.
Third person. Who can tell me why? Yes.
Because
Very good. What is the author's purpose? To persuade the reader, to inform the reader, or to entertain the reader? Yes.
Entertain.
Why is it entertain? Yes.
Because it's telling a story.
It's telling a story, and we have a lot of elements of a story. It is a make-believe story. None of it is real. Someone made it up, and it was told just for your enjoyment, okay? There are no facts in this story. All right, guys, so just to summarize our lesson today, we learned about the plot. Remember, the plot of the story is made up of the problem, important events, the big things happening in the story, and the solution. So first, our character, our carpenter, made a puppet, and he didn't make him with a smile, but then he included the smile later. But the only emotion the puppet had in the middle of the story was a smile, and when something bad happened to him, he wasn't able to show he was sad. By the time we got to the end, a magical witch came, granted him a wish of having other emotions, which is the central message of our story. What we learned was we need to have those different emotions in life because we experience different things every single day. Okay? Very good.